Goodbye Grief and Nadu. They've been banned out of Modern, so today we're playing Izzet Ruby Storm featuring Flame of Anor, which I think is super well positioned. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is my updated Izzet Ruby Storm deck list. You might have seen a video about a month to a month and a half ago that you can find in the card above where it was debuting brand new cards from Bloomburrow such as Stormcatch Mentor. Also, Into the Floodmaw out of the sideboard is the new Chain of Vapor type card. I was super impressed with Into the Floodmaw, and I even liked Flame of Anor, a card that I traditionally thought was super clunky in Gift Storm. Well, Flame of Anor impressed me so much that I moved the sideboard copy to the main deck, and now we're playing 4 of these today. So why is Izzet the build to be playing over Gruul or Boros? What makes Izzet so good? Well, I think primarily it's the flexibility of Flame of Anor. If your opponent doesn't have anything that you need to destroy, you can just draw 2 cards. Okay, so it also allows you to beat main deck Chalice of the Void or Trinisphere out of the Eldrazi decks, so you're not just cold to them. We like that. So out of those weird scenarios, there's also the New World, where post-ban, we are a target. Ruby Storm is one of the most popular decks in the format. People are gunning to beat you. So cards like Magebane Lizard are seeing play. A Braid doesn't answer Magebane Lizard. However, Flame of Anor does. Okay, so that's one, bonus of Flame of Anor, but that can't be it. Like, that can't be the only reason you would want to play this card over a Braid, right? Well, like I said, the draw 2 is a big thing. But what blue really gives you is Into the Floodmaw. So green doesn't play Nature's Claim or anything like that often. There's some lists that play 1 to 2, but it's not super common at this point. It's mostly just the Braids and Veil of Summer. So in the New World, people are playing Deafening Silence, and Into the Floodmaw answers Deafening Silence. Okay, well, so does Nature's Claim and all that stuff, but Into the Floodmaw, in addition, answers Magebane Lizard or Drannith Magistrate, so your cards are more versatile, allowing you more opportunities and a little bit more wiggle room to outplay your opponent, and that's what I like about the blue splash. When you're playing blue, you also get 3 Thundering Falls and Steam Vents. So in my Boros deck list, when you're running Glimpse of the Impossible in the main deck, I really like Shatterskull Smashing if you don't have something like Flame of Anor in the main deck. So my Boros list, for example, doesn't have 3 Surveils. It only has the 2. When you play Izzet, you get to play 3 Surveil lands, and I think you really need that if you're going to beat Magebane Lizard and Drannith Magistrate, where Izzet, it's just, you get a better mana base, you get a more versatile card that doesn't get stuck in your hand like a Braid and all that stuff. I think the one downside of the Izzet list is Pact of Negation. So Pact of Negation, unlike Silence, I think Silence is the best one, by the way. I know that Gruul is more popular right now, but I do think that Silence is probably better than Veil of Summer because of Subtlety or Solitude, Endurance, Surgical Extraction, all that stuff. So Pact of Negation answers those on the stack, but it doesn't answer multiples. So I kind of, I think it's actually pretty close to Veil of Summer, if I'm being honest, maybe a smidgen worse, but it's not as bad as people think. The one major downside is Teferi, but I do think you're pretty favored against the Jeskai Energy deck anyway. So I am going to continue to play Pact of Negation. If you're feeling a little frisky, you could cut 1 Steam Vents and then 1 Thundering Falls, and you could play I don't know, Sacred Foundry, and then the other one, Elegant Parlor, and run Silences in your sideboard. But I think Pact of Negation does a serviceable job, and I wouldn't want to color screw myself when I'm playing Flame of Anor. Alright, so that's the main changes today. I'm also playing 3 copies of Blood Moon. This is a holdover from pre-ban, where I really liked this card versus the Esper Reanimator deck, which I'm assuming isn't going to be very popular post-ban because Grief is gone. But I still really like Blood Moon against Eldrazi or Tron. I even board it in sometimes against the Jeskai Energy deck. So I board it in some matchups. I've found it to be pretty good. And before I end this deck tech, I would like to say, when you're running Izzet, you do get Jegantha, because when you're running Gruul or Boros, you do want to play Shatterskull Smashing, which makes it so you can't do that. So I think Izzet is just the most well-rounded deck list that allows you the most opportunity. All right, so that's what I've got for today. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I really do appreciate you watching. If you're interested in a sideboard guide, we do have them over at theepicstorm.com/shop. They will be up for Gruul, Boros, and Izzet. So if you're interested in any of those color pairings, we have sideboard guides for them. But I really do think at this point, Izzet is probably the best version. So All right, enough of me blabbering. Let's go play some Magic. I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We are on the play with Izzet Rubystorm. We will reveal our Gigantha. Okay, so we have a 1-lander, but this hand is very good. We have the ability to fetch out a Surveil land. I'm going to keep. I know that it's a little risky. Alex McKinley of the Epic Storm wrote a primer on this deck. And in that primer, he mentioned that you have about a 67% chance on 18 lands to hit a land. I believe it was 18, by the way. My math, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. But you have about 6% chance off of 18 lands to hit. So I'm playing 20 today. I'm going to hope that my deck is just good to me here. We will search out a Thundering Falls, Surveil. We hit the land. Beautiful. I believe we're facing a Breach deck. That's what the Hedge Maze into Surveil Urza Saga means. We'll play Ruby Medallion, pass the turn. Had it the whole time. They did not use their Bobble, so that means that they might be saving it for an Emery here. Wow. I am psychic. Okay, it is our time to shine, I guess. Valakut Awakening. I'm going to begin with a Pyretic Ritual. Reckless Impulse. We had a pair of lands. Grab a mountain. So I could Flame of Anor for just the draw 2 here. I could also Valakut Awakening, put Wish in the Flame of Anor a bit on the bottom and draw 3. That might be my best chance here. So we're going to play Valakut Awakening. We'll put these on the bottom and draw 3. That was good. Pyretic Ritual. Desperate Ritual. We will Past in Flames. Storm is 6. Let's Reckless Impulse. We had 2 more rituals. So that was less ideal. What I can do now is Valakut Awakening. I guess I have to play a ritual here first. So we'll Ritual. And now we'll Valakut Awakening for 2. Put the Past in Flames on the bottom. Flame of Anor. Okay. We will Pyretic Ritual. Let's draw 2. So one nice thing that Flame of Anor does that we didn't get to do this game was that so if you were to play Glimpse the Impossible, it exiles the card. So we've cast Valakut Awakening twice. Unfortunately, it was in the wrong order, but this puts more cards to your hand to then be able to use later to bottom with the Valakut Awakening. All right, so unfortunately we fizzled. We went for it and we bricked. So I'm going to play Pyretic Ritual here, and then we will splice a Desperate Ritual. So we're going to make a bunch of mana. I will put Gigantha to my hand, and then play Gigantha. This sets me up to flashback Past in Flames next turn and try to win. Alright, so we did fizzle. Unfortunate. We didn't have that great of draws there, if I'm being honest. But that's okay. Urza Saga goes to the second chapter. They replay Urza's Bobble. They use the Bobble. Scalding Tarn into Thundering Falls. They play Tamiya. Alright, so this is our chance. Rail Monsoon Mage. That was a good draw. So we will play the Rail. We'll play... I think I want to hold the land, actually, because I might want to Surveil. Desperate Ritual. Choose Tails. I lose the flip. Let's make some mana. I guess I want to Surveil here. It might be better to grab the last Surveil out of the deck instead, though. So we'll play the Scalding Tarn. Grab Thundering Falls. This also shuffles those cards from the bottom on top, and this was perfect. So we're going to bin the Ren's Resolve, and now we will flashback Past in Flames. We'll choose Tails. We won the flip, but I don't want to transform Rail yet. Okay, Pyretic Ritual. We'll choose Tails. I lost the flip. We will Flame of Anor for 2 modes now. We'll draw 2 and deal 5 to a creature. We'll draw 2 and kill the Emery. We'll pay blue-red. Choose Tails. We win the flip. I do not want to transform. Another Rail. Okay, let's play a Desperate Ritual. And our opponent concedes. Nice. Alright, so we're facing the Grinding Breach deck. I don't even know if I want to sideboard here. Like, I feel like I'm just a better deck than them. Yeah, I'm just going to resubmit. Okay, we've opened up a decent hand for the second game. I will keep. They play Island into Tamiyo. Rail Monsoon Mage. That's a good one. So if we draw a land on turn 2, we can go for a turn 2 win. I'm going to play Strike It Rich, pass. Misty Rainforest, they attack, and they pass. We did not draw the land. I mean, I could go for it, but I'd lose to a Spell Pierce here. I'm just going to Strike It Rich and pass. They fetch with Misty, or a Stomping Ground, and they draw a card. Sure. They attack with Tamiyo, they investigate again. Land number 3, and they're just holding open interaction. Would have liked a land. I'm going to attempt a Ruby Medallion. That resolved, okay. Pyretic Ritual, and they negate the Pyretic Ritual instead of the Ruby Medallion. That's interesting. Now they can attack again and investigate to create a clue token. A Flame of Anor to destroy my Ruby Medallion. Okay. And that transforms the Tamiyo. So I'm in trouble here. Emery, we drew the land. I'm going to Ren's Resolve. I feel like this game got away from us. Past the turn, we revealed a Ruby Medallion and a Ren's Resolve. Haywire Might, play plus the Tamiyo, play another Tamiyo, Breeding Pool, 3 cards in hand. Okay. Pyretic Ritual. I'm going to just Ren's Resolve here. Play the Thundering Falls, keep the Manamorphose, pass the turn. They draw a card. They minus Tamiyo to return negate. And they just attack. We draw Pyretic Rituals in exile. So if we don't use it right now, we're going to lose it. Manamorphose. Let's play the Pyretic Ritual, see if this draws out the negate. Okay, resolved, and then we'll flashback Strike It Rich, pass the turn. They fetch with Scalding Tarn for a Thundering Falls, and then they can draw a card here. If they draw another card, their Tamiyo will transform. And then they removed my token with the Haywire Might. No, it didn't transform, I'm sorry. I am wrong. They only drew 2 cards that turn, not 3. They plus Tamiyo, activate the Emery, bring back the Haywire Might, and now they attack. So they have 7 cards in hand, one of which is the negate. Another Flame of Anor. I think we've lost this game. We should just go to the next one. So the question is, do I want to bring in a Pact of Negation or 2? Maybe we'll shave Flame of Anor. Like if they have counter magic, the list that I saw last only had Spell Pierce. So we'll shave a Flame of Anor and maybe the strikes. Let's try this. All right, we've opened up a pretty reasonable hand. We'll keep. Not going to be stuck on mana this game. Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. They search out a Breeding Pool. Into Tamiyo, sure. We'll fetch in response. Grab Thundering Falls. I don't need another Wish. That can go to the graveyard. Another land. I'm going to just play Rail right now. Play Rail Monsoon Mage. They either need a removal spell or I'm in a great spot. And if they do have a removal spell, they won't be drawing a card here off the clue. Mox Amber into Emery. Grinding Station and Underworld Breach. So they're actually kind of close to being able to win now. Another Ren's Resolve. Let's fetch with the Arid Mesa just to thin a land out of the deck. Play Ren's Resolve. Trigger the Rail. We'll choose Tails. We lost the flip. Another Rail and a Manamorphose. We'll play Manamorphose. Second spell of the turn. We'll choose Tails. We win the flip. I'm going to say no. And they have negate. I'm going to Ren's Resolve again, trying to set up for next turn. I'll say yes. Hit 2 lands. That's less than ideal. We will kill the Emery. Emery makes it so they can't get back the Grinding Station. And there's only 2 Grinding Stations in the deck. So killing Emery is not bad here. Stomping Ground, Unholy Heat. Okay. They have 2 cards remaining in their hand. We draw a Ritual. Let's play Bloodstained Mire and I'll fetch. Grab Steam Vents. Rail. If they have a counter spell or removal spell, I'm in trouble. Desperate Ritual. Trigger the Rail. Tails. Lost the flip. Fast in Flames. Choose Tails. We win the flip. No. And that resolved. Okay, let's try a Desperate Ritual. Choose Tails. Lost the flip. All right, it appears our opponent doesn't have anything. We will play Manamorphose, choose Tails. We'll make red. I know that I could make blue in case I draw into Flame of Anor, but right now red mana is what we need to win, so that's what I'm going to make. Rail, so this is the 5th spell of the turn. So 5th card that counts for Rail, because we've played Rail itself, so I don't want to flip the Rail yet. Pyretic Ritual, choose Tails. Lost the flip. Ren's Resolve. Choose Tails. Won the flip. Yes, I would like to transform. And the opponent concedes the match. How about that? Didn't need the Pact of Negations after all. We are 1-0 to start off this modern league. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the play again. So here we have a 1-land hand into Surveil again. The difference is I don't know if the payoffs are necessarily here to try to jam this. There's no ritual. If you changed Wish or Flame of Anor with a ritual, I would probably keep this. So I'm going to mulligan. This hand is really close. No Surveil. I'm going to go to 5. Okay. We'll bottom Ren's Resolve and Reckless Impulse. Steam Vents past the turn. Polluted Delta into Watery Grave. Brutal. Mulligan to 5 into Thoughtseize. Not what I wanted in this matchup. We ripped a rail anyway. Thoughtseize bug. Alright, let's hope they don't have a removal spell. Play the rail. Come on, just play a turn 2 Psychic Frog. Polluted Delta, and they pass. We drew a land. So I don't want to attack in case they flash in an Orcish Bowmasters. So I think I'm actually going to just pass here. And then I can Surveil. Interesting. So it's maybe not the Dimir Murktide deck or Dimir Frog deck. It might be something else. It could be Reanimator. I'm not really sure what it is at the moment. It is the Reanimator deck. It's not dead after all. Okay. Ephemerate. Interesting. We will fetch Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Strike It Rich. We don't want that here. Alright, so Ruby Medallion. Not the best. Let's Reckless Impulse. Trigger the rail. Force a negation. Okay. With that ability on the stack, I'm going to Manamorphose. We'll choose Tails. We win the flip. I'm going to say no. Manamorphose. We'll do blue. No, I could just do red. We find Wish. We'll choose Tails. I lost the flip. I'm a mana short of Galvanic Relay being great. So I'm going to play Ruby Medallion and then Flashback Strike It Rich. They ephemerate in response. So the log says our opponent mills Bryant Cook, Thoughtseize, and Marsh Flats. So I'm guessing it's the Tainted Indulgence. And they choose the Tainted Indulgence. We will now Flashback Strike It Rich, choose Tails. I lost the flip. So I could try to play Wish just to trigger the rail, but I think that's a losing strategy. I'm going to choose to just pass here. And now Ephemerate, Solitude, Leyline Binding, Polluted Delta. They choose Leyline Binding. Basic Plane. So Wish and a Blood Moon is not going to be good this game. They Tainted Indulgence. They're up to 6 cards in hand now. And they pass. Okay. We find a land. Not ideal. So I could fetch for a Surveil land. Play Wish for 1 mana. Play Past in Flames for 2 mana. Manamorphose. So I'd be praying that the Surveil hits like a ritual or something else that's good. Let's fetch. We'll grab the Thundering Falls. Ruby Medallion. That doesn't actually help me. I think I'm just supposed to put the Jegantha to my hand. Pass the turn. They play their 5th land. Okay, and now Leyline Binding is on. They play the Leyline Binding. Exile my rail. Psychic Frog. So if I Wish into the Flood Maw. This is Swamp, Mountain, Forest, Plains, Island. So they would be able to replay the Leyline Binding. And I actually drew the Valakut Awakening, which is why I put Jegantha to my hand. Let's play the Valakut Awakening. Jegantha goes on the bottom. We'll draw 2. Ritual, Ruby Medallion. We'll play another Ruby Medallion. I think I'm supposed to just Galvanic Relay here. Pyretic Ritual, Galvanic Relay for 5. Ren's Resolve, Wish, and 3 lands. Yikes. That was not very good. They discard Atraxa to the Psychic Frog. Goryo's Vengeance back the Atraxa. Leyline Binding, Ephemerate. Yeah, they probably have it from here. I guess they tapped sort of poorly. They can't actually Ephemerate their Atraxa. Have they played a land? They have not played a land. So they could fetch for a white source. I'm at 14. It's 10. They just have lethal. All they have to do is discard cards to Psychic Frog. Okay, we've lost game number 1 to Reanimator. I mean, I did put up a reasonable fight for a mulligan to 5, but I think our deck sort of failed us in a few spots. Like, we saw a lot of lands, and I don't know, like, our draws could have just been a little bit better. So we'll bring in the 2 copies of Blood Moon. I do think I want Pact of Negation, and I have this matchup on the sideboard guide. Let me look at it real quick. All right, so I'm supposed to shave a Wish, a Flame of Anor. So some of these builds are playing Drannith in the sideboard, so you can't shave too many copies of Flame of Anor. And then it has me boarding out one of the Impulse effects. So we will try this. Not a very good matchup for us, but it is winnable. I'm going to keep. We'll play Arid Mesa and pass the turn. They just play a Marsh Flats. We'll go search out Thundering Falls. Surveil. I don't think we need land number 4. Reckless Impulse. I'm just going to play Thundering Falls here. Flame of Anor. I'm going to keep that. They grab the Jund Triome. Flooded Strand. We'll play the Mountain and pass the turn. On their end step, I'll draw 2. They grab Watery Grave. So no white source. Tainted Tainted Indulgence. And they did not discard a large creature. We're in luck. They play Thoughtseize. We're just going to have to let that go. They take the Rail Monsoon Mage. Basic Plains into Nile Spellbomb. So I could Flame of Anor the Spellbomb. Or I can just draw 2. I think I just want to draw 2 here. Ritual Manamorphose, not bad. Let's Reckless Impulse. Bloodstained Mire. So we could look at potentially setting it up and empty the Warrens line here. Or if they tap out, we could try to Blood Moon, but I don't know how good that actually is. Alright, on their end step, we will fetch and grab another Thundering Falls. I don't want to show them Blood Moon if I don't have to. I'd rather keep that a surprise for a possible game 3. Another Wish. I'm going to get rid of that. Another Ritual. Okay. Let's start off by cycling Manamorphose. We'll make some red mana. Manamorphose again. Flame of Anor. Pyretic Ritual. Esper Ritual. Let's try Wish. So if this resolves, we can just empty the Warrens. And they let it go. Let's try to empty these Warrens. Storm is 6. It resolved. What is in your hand? Like, you didn't put a large creature to the graveyard with Tainted Indulgence. You had no permission here. They're going to use the Spellbomb to draw a card. I don't love how they tapped here because it cut them off blue mana for the end step. And I don't think that this Triome is doing a lot. Psychic Frog with 6 cards in hand. Kind of scary. And now they discard Atraxa. That's not good. I can Pact and Negation this, but then I have to tap out on my turn to pay for it. Alright, we'll counter the Goryo's Vengeance. Pact of Negation trigger. Yes. Swing out. They'll block 1, take 11 down to 3. Now they're drawing up to 5 cards. Emperor of Bones. So they're now going to exile the Atraxa. And now they can turn their Emperor of Bones into Atraxa. And they hit a Solitude, so they can Solitude their own Atraxa if need be. So they can attack for 7 and then gain 7 more. They did not select Solitude. That's interesting. So they attack for 7, they go up to 10, I'm at 11, and they play Undercity Sewers. Surveils a Thoughtseize. So I can put them to 1 here. Actually, I can kill them with Flame of Anor if they don't have Solitude or Force of Negation. Let's play Ruby Medallion to see if we can bait out a force. Ren's Resolve, land Past in Flames, not the best. We'll play the Scalding Tarn. Flame of Anor to deal 5. Target the Emperor of Bones. Okay, let's submit. We have the possibility of turn 2 Blood Moon this game. I will keep. Opponent with a mulligan. They kept 6 cards. Polluted Delta. For a Godless Shrine. Thoughtseize. So our Blood Moon has a possibility of going away here. They do take the Blood Moon. Thundering Falls. Keep the Ritual. We'll pass. Another Thoughtseize. Devastating. Did not want to see that. Goodbye, Ruby Medallion. They play Basic Island into Nile Spellbomb. We draw the known Ritual. I'm going to wait a turn on the Reckless Impulse, because if I hit double land, I don't want to be punished. And I also kind of want the Surveil here. Emperor of Bones. And this is just passive Graveyard Hate too. It's going to exile our graveyard slowly. Fetch. They have 2 cards left. We'll grab Thundering Falls. Keep the Valakut Awakening. Reckless Impulse. Wish is good. I do like the Wish. So now Emperor Bones will exile another card. They attack. And we will fetch. Thundering Falls. Surveil. I mean, the untapped land lets me theoretically wish and empty the Warrens again. I lose to a Force of Negation, though. That's not a good thing. We'll grab the basic, and then we will splice a Desperate Ritual. So I could try to just bait with a Wish here, and then see if they try to counterspell it, rather than burn this Desperate Ritual too. They let it go. So I could Blood Moon here. We did see Celestial Purge, but it's probably only a 1-of. What to do? I'm gonna go for the Blood Moon. It doesn't force me to burn this Desperate Ritual, and I think that has some value. Solitude exiling Atraxa, and then they're probably going to Ephemerate it here with the last card in their hand. There it is. So now we need to beat Solitude plus Emperor Bones, so 5 power and I'm at 15. Okay, they get to Ephemerate if they so choose. So I can put Gigantha to my hand and then Ritual out the Gigantha, so they'll attack for 5, I put Gigantha to my hand, they can attack for 5 and then I play Gigantha, so I'd be at a really low life total. Ruby Medallion. Let's play Ruby, and then we'll Ritual put Gigantha to hand. They have 2 cards. I'm going to go to 5. That rail is very risky here. We'll play the Gigantha. We're dead to Solitude. Well, we're not dead, but it would not be good. We're hoping that this Gigantha sort of board stalls our opponent. Okay, the Emperor Bones exile another card. And it looks like Gigantha has done its job. Another Ruby Medallion. Let's play that. And then I'm going to pass. They exile Ruby Medallion from the graveyard. On their end step, let's Valakut Awakening. Put Rail and a Pact of Negation on the bottom. You could put both packs, but I don't want to. Ooh, that was not great. And another land. Okay, I was hoping for something better than that. They drew land 3. I don't know if that matters if it's a mountain, but it could. We drew another land. We're flooding hard. Pass the turn. This Pact of Negation is not on because I can't pay blue in the upkeep. They cycle a Ketria Triome, land number 4. Come on, duck. Come on, not this way. So many lands. We will pass. I'm not loving how this is playing out right now. Okay, that was actually a good draw. We'll play our land and pass. On the end step, I can cast this and draw 2, or I could kill a Solitude. Actually, I want to kill Emperor Bones. Okay. Is it better to draw 2, or is it better to kill Emperor Bones? I think I want to draw 2. Gigantha is not a wizard, so I do not get to do 2 things. I draw another Blood Moon. Fast and Flames is not very good here. I guess it forces them to use the Spell Bomb. We'll play Blood Moon, play Fast and Flames. They let it happen. So if I tried to Flame of Anor, they could force a negation, and then I'd have to pact and I'd lose my next upkeep. So they didn't bite. That's an easy way to lose. Play the mountain. I'm going to pass. It stinks, but I thought I could bait them, and it didn't work. We have a lot of Ren's Resolve effects in our deck, and we have not drawn them. Oh my. Lands for days. I guess I could start holding lands because there's another Valakut Awakening in our deck somewhere. So that allows me to Pact of Negation if I need to. This is miserable. I mean, they do have basic lands they could draw at some point. We'll pass. We have not... I don't know if we've seen one Ren's Resolve effect this game. Turn 17. I have 7 minutes left on the clock. We drew Flame of Anor. So they discarded an Atraxa. On the end step, we will draw 2. We drew another Manamorphose. Psychic Frog, Rail. Rail is very risky here because I could end up killing myself. Let's Manamorphose. Red, blue. Manamorphose. Blue, red. Another Ritual. So I've played 2 so far. Manamorphose, this is 3. Red, 3 instants and sorceries. Let's play Ritual. That's 4. We'll play Rail. This is 5. Past in Flames is 6. I'm sorry, this would be the 5th. They're going to use Spellbomb in response. And now in response to that, I can... So now we get 2 chances to flip the Rail here. Choose Tails. Past in Flames will choose Tails. I won. Yes. All right, Past in Flames. We'll minus Rail for 8. 5 minutes on the clock. We will cast Manamorphose. Red, blue. We'll play Wish. Flame of Anor to draw 2. 13 cards left in our deck. Play the Ritual. We're going to Splice. Let's play another Ruby Medallion because I can. We somehow won. What a miserable game. Turn 18, Blood Moon really carried us. Wow. All right, so we're 2-0 in this Modern League. That was... something. 3 matches left. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round 3, we're on the play, and I will keep. So you could go turn 1 Strike It Rich into turn 2 Ruby Medallion. I'm going to play this game a little bit slower. I'm just going to Surveil, turn 2, play Strike It Rich, Surveil again. Like, this is not a hand that's going to win quickly, so let's just take our time and, you know, play a game that makes us more consistent. Scalding Tarn, pass. They just play an island. We'll fetch. Thundering Falls. Keep the Valakut Awakening. And I might try to pretend to be Jeskai here. I mean, with username Bryant_Cook, it's probably not going to work. Undercity Sewers. So they are probably on the Jeskai, or I'm sorry, the Dimir Frog deck. They kept that card on top. We will fetch. Grab another Thundering Falls. Keep the Reckless Impulse. Play Arid Mesa past the turn. Prismatic Vista. We will fetch again. Thundering Falls. Keep the land. Play it and pass. They fetch using Prismatic Vista. Preordain. One on top, one on the bottom. They have land number 3. On the end step, I'm going to Valakut Awakening. I'd like to be able to convert this Striker Rich into something a little bit more useful. Alright, so it's just a draw 2. And we draw double Flame of Anor. Esper Ritual. Let's try a Reckless Impulse here. Spell Snare. We will pass the turn. They have 4 cards left. 5 after they draw. They play a Sink into Stupor as a land. 4 cards left. We will attempt another Reckless Impulse effect. Let's cycle a Manamorphose. We'll do red. There's the land I wanted. Reckless Impulse. Okay, so next turn looks like a turn where we might try to do something. End step, they flash in Subtlety. Interesting knowing that Rail is in exile that can be played next turn and they still flash that in. They play a Watery Grave, so they have 3 cards left in their hand now. We'll take 3. Manamorphose. Well, let's start off with a Ruby Medallion. They play Force of Negation. Let's try Pyretic Ritual. They're resolved. Let's play Rail Monsoon Mage. They have 2 cards left. Drown in the Lock. Ruby Medallion, and we can pass the turn. They have 1 card. 2 after their draw step. They attack for 3, will go to 11. Another Rail. Pyretic Ritual. Esper Ritual. Rail Monsoon Mage. They still have 2 cards. They play Counter Spell. We will draw 2 using Flame of Anor. So whatever card is left in their hand, they need to use it carefully. Okay, so we drew land Manamorphose. We'll fetch down to 10. Grab a basic. I'm going to put Jegantha to hand, and then we'll play Jegantha. See if a 5/5 scares them enough to use the last interaction piece. They're resolved. We'll pass. Preordain. 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. The One Ring. Okay, we can beat the One Ring. We are playing a Thassa's Oracle into a Preordain. 2 on the bottom. So they would need Force of Negation here to really do anything. They've already used 1 Force of Negation. We drew Wish. Let's play it. We'll tap Jegantha, play Wish. So that could be Past in Flames, but I want to see what I draw off the cards in my hand first. We'll make red. Another fetch land. We'll fetch down to 6. Grab the basic. Manamorphose, red, another Wish. We'll draw 2 using Flame of Anor. Term is 4, 30 cards left in deck. We drew another Wish, so we'll play Wish using the mana we have floating. So now I can do Past in Flames with Pact of Negation backup. Okay, this should win. Pyretic Ritual. It's annoying that I have these 3 mana floating. I guess I can use the green for Manamorphose, because it's stopping me from just like casting my spells naturally. It always wants me to click something. Esper Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, will Manamorphose, make 2 blue, play a Ruby Medallion, play Wish. Storm is 13, play Wish, let's Manamorphose, red. I have enough blue mana floating. We can Valakut Awakening. We'll put those 3 cards on the bottom. So there's 25 cards left in my deck or so. The plan right now is Galvanic Relay into Thassa's Oracle with Pact of Negation backup. We'll play Ritual, play Ruby Medallion, because I can. Reckless Impulse, play Wish. We will Reckless Impulse again. So Relay would actually be 1 card short of exiling the whole deck, so that's why I played it there. Alright, and now we will exile our deck with Galvanic Relay, and then we will play the Thassa's Oracle using the 2 blue mana I have floating. And if they had a Subtlety here, I have triple Pact of Negation I can cast because I played so many Wishes this turn. And we win game number 1 through the One Ring. Okay, so we definitely want Pact of Negation. I've used Blood Moon in this matchup before. It's not as good as it is against the Esper Reanimator deck, but I have found it to be serviceable. We'll take out Striker Rich again. And then I think you could probably cut like 2 copies of Flame of Anor and a Wish. Let's try this. Game number 2, we've opened up a good hand we will keep. They play Undercity Sewers. We'll play Thundering Falls. If they tap out, I'm going to try to win on turn 2. We'll keep the Ruby Medallion. Like if they jam a turn 2 Psychic Frog, I'm going to try to win. Scalding Tarn, and they do not. We will play Arid Mesa and pass. They fetch for another copy of Undercity Sewers, and they kept that card on top. And now they play Psychic Frog, so they do have some sort of 1 mana interaction. We will fetch, grab a Thundering Falls. I think we keep Manamorphose. Let's play the Manamorphose. They're going to Spell Snare a Manamorphose, really? I'm surprised by that. I'm glad I kept that card on top of my deck instead of surveilling it away. They play land number 4, discards Watery Grave, and now they attack. Let's try Ruby Medallion here. It's probably going to be counterspelled. I accept that. Consign to Memory. We'll play the Valakut Awakening as a land. They pick up another Watery Grave. 3 cards remain in their hand now. They'll draw for turn going up to 4. Psychic Frog will put them up to 5. They discard Fatal Push. Let's try a Rail Monsoon Mage. A Spell Snare. We will pass. They attack for 3. They play a land. Is this a One Ring? No, it's not. Okay. We'll grab our last copy of Thundering Falls. I'll play a Reckless Impulse. See if this resolves here. Fast in Flames? Okay. Actually, I should put Giganta in my hand. Pass the turn. Orcish Bowmasters. I don't know how much I actually care about that here. So they're attacking. That's actually exact lethal, so I do care. That is exact lethal. All they have to do is discard their hand. Our opponent has counted. So they had Counterspell, Force and Negation, so their hand was quite good. Okay, wow. And that is exact lethal. We will submit. Okay, so this hand's a little sketchy. You're really banking on drawing that land. I think I'm going to mulligan. This is better. Put the Ruby Medallion on the bottom so we can potentially just cut off Consign to Memory. Play Velcut and pass the turn. Looted Delta. We'll fetch. I'm going to try to just jam Rail here. Pick up a Steam Vents. Rail Monsoon Mage. It resolves. Is there a Fatal Push in my future? Watery Grave and Fatal Push. Yep, they play Basic Island, 6 cards. We'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. In response to Bowmasters, I'm going to cast Valakut Awakening. Grab a basic, play Valakut Awakening. And I think I want to put Pass in Flames and Wish on the bottom. I just need cards that are less clunky at the moment. So I'll draw 3 here. Well, I drew lands. We'll see how it goes. I would have loved a Pact of Negation last game, but we didn't have one. They have land number 3. They attack for 2. I'll go to 13. Play Thundering Falls, Surveil, keep the Ritual, and we will put Giganta to our hand, pass the turn. Another Orcish Bowmasters. That's trouble. Okay. They have 4 cards. This knocks me down to 8. So the attack will put me to 3 next turn, assuming that I play Giganta and it gets countered here. Yep, okay. They have 3 cards remaining. They're about to draw up to a 4th. We're going to go to 3. I don't think I can beat these Bowmasters with Flame of Anor and Manamorphose as my action spells. Pyretic Ritual. They're going to Fatal Push in response. In response, will Manamorphose. This is going to put me to 1. So if I lose the trigger, I'm just dead. We won, I will flip. And now we're going to deal myself 2 here with Manamorphose. They sink in a stupor on my rail. I have to Pact of Negation this. I don't even know what a winning game looks like anymore, but we'll try to figure it out. I think I need to draw like Past in Flames off of Manamorphose and win this flip. Yeah, the only way I win this is if I win the rail flip. I can't tell if my opponent's tilting off because I had Pact of Negation or if they actually have Force of Negation in their hand. My spell is finally resolved. Manamorphose will make blue-red. I don't think Ruby Medallion's going to do it here. So this will put me to 1. And now we have to win this flip. We won the flip. Okay. So Pyretic Ritual. We can -2 to kill the 2 Bowmasters, play Ruby Medallion, and then I can either draw 2 with Flame of Anor and pray for a miracle, or I can just kill the Orc Army. And I think it's kill the Orc Army and try to buy time. And their last card was Force Negation. Wow. Okay. They drew pretty well, but, you know, it happens. We lost match number 3. It was a good one, but we didn't win it. Let's see where our next draws could have been. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, our top card was Past in Flames. I navigated that pretty well. I would have had to pay the Pact of Negation trigger in the upkeep, so let's not forget that. But, wow, that was a good one. 2-1, 2 matches left. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. We are on the draw for match number 4. I've opened up a pretty good hand. Let's try it out. And we're facing Amulet Titan. I do have a strong hand. We'll play Thundering Falls. We don't need another land. That can go on the bottom. I have what is likely a turn 3, but if I draw a Ritual, we can go for a turn 2. Shifting Woodland. Okay, they just pass. So the question is, do I try for a turn 2 here? What are the odds that I'm dead? I'm going to play a tap Steam Vents and pass. A Boreal Grazer. So this can bring them up to 3 mana. So Gruul Turf, and now they return the Gruul Turf to their hand after they make 2 mana. So their goal here is to get up to 6. That is how much mana they would like to make. They play a Forest, and they're passing. Okay. So we get to try to win now. Rail Monsoon Mage. Pyretic Ritual. Trigger the Rail. We'll choose tails. We lost the flip. Ren's Resolve. Tails. We win the flip. No. And I would not have hit a ritual. So that's good to know. Let's play Reckless Impulse. Lost the flip. Manamorphose. Lost the flip. We'll make 2 red mana. Let's Manamorphose. Tails. Lost the flip. 2 more red mana. Another Manamorphose. Lost the flip. Red. Veilcut Awakening. Tails. Won the flip. Yes. We'll bottom some cards here. And now we'll draw 5. Let's minus on the rail. Play Desperate Ritual. Manamorphose. We'll make 2 blue. Ren's Resolve. Desperate Ritual. We'll draw 2. Storm is 12. We find another rail Monsoon Mage. Ren's Resolve. We win the flip. Yes. Keep the one with 15 counters on it. Seems like a good idea. Minus on the rail. Pyretic Ritual, Esper Ritual. We'll play a Wish. Fast in Flame, Storm 19. Let's destroy the Amulet of Vigor, because I can. Why not? And we'll draw 2 more. And you might be saying, Bryant, why not just kill the opponent here? I don't know what the current Amulet builds are playing. If our opponent might be able to gain a life or 2, why not just cast a couple more spells? It doesn't hurt anything to do so. I lose a couple seconds on my clock. It's not the end of the world. All right. Grape Shot for 24. Well, that was delightful. Okay, so this is not a very good Flame of Anor matchup. It's just a little slow. Meanwhile, for 1 mana, you can bounce a Primeval Titan with Into the Floodmaw. This is also a great Blood Moon matchup, so we're going to bring those in. So we're 1 card over at the moment, and the sideboard guide says a single Strike It Rich. Yeah, like you could board in the 3rd Blood Moon, but I think I'd rather have access via Wish than siding it in. Look at that. Opened it up, had it the whole time. Keep. Turn 1 Urza's Saga into Amulet of Vigor. I would like to draw a ritual. Instead we draw land. I'll play Bloodstained Mire and pass. Urza's Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. Mike is in the gardens. This is dangerous. Okay. Need to find a ritual here. Thundering Falls. Ding. Mountain. Desperate Ritual. How about that Blood Moon? They copy Amulet. And now the Blood Moon will kill their Urza's Saga. So it's worth noting that we are facing a deck that plays 2 copies of Force of Vigor in the sideboard, so it is a card we need to be aware of, but they didn't have it that turn. We'll play Wooded Fells, tap it for mana, play Ruby Medallion, playing right into that Force of Vigor, but if they didn't have it last turn, I'm not going to play around it this turn. Teleria West, neither of those lands make green mana for Beseiju. Fast in Flames. Let's try a Ren's Resolve. Choose Tails, we lose the flip. Another Blood Moon. Let's try Manamorphose. Tails, we win the flip. Say no. Red, and our opponent just concedes. I love that for us. We're now 3-1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? Alright, the 5th and final round. We're on the draw and we've opened up a 1-land hand that has Veilcut Awakening. I don't think that this hand is good enough. We're going to send it back. Okay, we'll try this. I don't know how good this hand actually is, but it's a hand with lands and spells. Forest into Ancient Stirrings. Okay. Sowing Mycospawn. Play Thundering Falls. Don't need Wish, that can go to the graveyard. So this could be a Trinisphere matchup. So this is one of those matchups where your Flame of Anor really gets to shine. Another Ancient Stirrings. They find Grove of the Burned Willows this time. They play it and pass the turn. So in these sort of situations, you could just like be hyper aggressive and try to win off your rails, which I feel like a lot of new Ruby Storm players do. But the issue with that is you're so likely to fizzle. I'd rather just untap and have a much higher success rate on turn 3. Dugan's Labyrinth exiles Emrakul, 4 mana, or Sowing Mycospawn. We no longer know any of the cards in their hand. They pick up Eldrazi Temple, and it's time to party. Strike It Rich. So a lot of people kind of poop on Strike It Rich and then cut it from their deck. Like, I know that a lot of people don't play Strike It Rich anymore, and I only play the 2. But it's incredibly helpful on your combo turns flipping Rail, especially when you have Rail plus a Ruby Medallion, because it's just a break even that gives you another chance at flipping. And I just don't think people value Strike It Rich high enough. Like, I'm not saying it's amazing, but it's definitely better than additional draw spells, I think. Veilcut Awakening, Firm's 3, so if I Veilcut, I go down to 2 mana, so that means Passing Flames doesn't work. I think we're just supposed to play Past in Flames here. Pyretic Ritual, play Strike It Rich. Manamorphose. This time we win the flip. Yes, we will finally transform. Red, blue, -8 on the rail. That could have been better. That was actually a little poopy. We'll play Ren's Resolve. We'll play Ren's Resolve for free. What to do? Alright, so we'll play the Wooded Foothills, grab a mountain. Storm is 9 and they're at 20. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Let's Reckless Impulse. Nothing great is happening for us right now. We'll Manamorphose Storm 12. We hit another Ritual, we'll play that. Play the Past in Flames for free. Storm 13. And now we can replay Pyretic Ritual from the graveyard. Storm 15. Esper Ritual. Like, we kind of had a bad rail this game, and we're still going to win this game fairly easily. We'll make 2 blue. It just didn't let me. It only let me make 1, but that's okay. Ren's Resolve from 18. Play the Ruby Medallion. We'll play Wish from the graveyard. And Grape Shot for Storm 21. Target you. So I'm not sure if they're on the Eldrazi deck, if they're on Tron, or if they're on the red-green Through the Breach deck. Emrakul, I think, is only in the Through the Breach deck, and we did see Emrakul. Yeah, I believe it's the Through the Breach deck, which has 3 main deck Trinispheres. So they do have a bunch of sideboard Stonebrains, so I'm kind of inclined here to bring in the Grape Shot. We'll get rid of Striker Rich. And I'm not even sure if Blood Moon's good against them. I feel like it might be a trap. So I think I want to avoid the Blood Moon. And I'll bring in 1 into the Flood Maw. I don't want to overboard because I think Flame of Anor is still really good here. I still like Wish in the matchup. I'm going to just try this. Interesting hand. So this is a hand where I'm going to get crushed by a Trinisphere. However, the potential to win is very high. So I don't know how to feel. Like, I'm on the draw. We can go grab a Surveil land. I'm going to keep it. I know it's a little risky. Okay. Draw for turn. Not a land. However, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to go for a turn 2 here. So it requires our opponent not playing a Trinisphere, and then I have to find land number 2. And this is how they play a Trinisphere. Ugin's Labyrinth. No exile. Really interesting. We'll grab a Thundering Falls, and that's a land. There's 2 Dismembers that are cards we care about. And interesting, I'm clicking through. Our opponent's taking a second here, and I don't mind that. But I'm clicking through various deck lists to see what our opponent could be playing. And Dismember is not even in every deck list. Like, there's some that just don't play it. So I'm going to try to just shove here. Esper Ritual. Play Rail Monsoon Mage. Another Esper Ritual. This is the second spell for Rail. And they do have Dismember. Okay. Not the end of the world. We'll choose Tails. So I can play Ruby Medallion. And I think I'm going to pass the turn. Oh, that's devastating here. Wow. So my plan was to wish into Blood Moon, or I'm sorry, wish in a Past in Flames, but now I think we have to wish in a Blood Moon. Another Flame. I'm actually going to just pass the turn. So this might seem a little weird, but if our opponent untaps and plays Trinisphere, I can Manamorphose in response and then destroy it with the Flame. Kozilek's Command. Okay. I don't know why they did that. Oh, they just drew 1 card. I see. Eldrazi Temple. So they're 1 mana away from Through the Breach Emrakul. We will draw 2. We find another Rail. That's good. Let's play Rail Monsoon Mage. I think I missequenced. Because if they have another Dismember, I get punished here. I should have let on Pyretic Ritual play Rail. And then if they have another Dismember, I could go Manamorphose, Manamorphose Flame. So I messed this up. Or this Kozilek's Command. Like, I could have played this better. This is my own fault. Okay. Get punished for playing poorly. We will Manamorphose, blue, red, Manamorphose again, red, another Flame. So I have 5 mana. Wish costs 2. Past in Flames costs 3. So I can't Past in Flames. I needed an untapped land. What can I do here? I could wish in a Blood Moon, but I don't even think Blood Moon's good here. I could wish in a Relay. I think the best move is actually just draw 2 cards. Into the Flood Maw, Ren's Resolve. What's Ren's Resolve? Okay, did that do it? It might have. We'll play Esper Ritual. Brings me back up to 5, so now I'm stuck in the same spot I was before. So I could Galvanic Relay for a ton. But the question is that good enough here? They have 4 cards in their hand. I could empty the Warrens. That might be the move. Because I'm not dead to Emrakul, and then I could sacrifice all my Goblin tokens instead of my lands. Yeah, I think empty's the play. All right, 20 Goblin tokens on the table. Cavern of Souls. They currently have 6 mana. Sowing Mycospawn with Kicker. They exile my Thundering Falls. So they're dead on board? All I have to do is swing out. One ring. Yep, okay. We will draw another Ruby Medallion. We'll play Thundering Falls. Keep the Past in Flames on top. Play the Ruby Medallion. Pass the turn. I cannot attack. Well, I could attack, but there's no point when they have ring protection. They draw 2 cards off the One Ring. Talisman of Impulse. So they could theoretically buy another turn if they play another copy of the One Ring through the Breach into a hasty Emrakul. Alright, so they're going to attack. We'll annihilate 6. And my 6 will all be Goblin tokens. And now I go to 2 life. And if I swing out, they're not dead because they would go to 1. Wow, they besiege you. Oh, I don't know why they did that. They besieged you and then immediately conceded because it put them dead on board. But I would have had the Past in Flames anyway. So it didn't end up mattering. We got the 4-1. We lost to the Dimir Frog deck. And I mean, honestly, that was a fantastic matchup. I really do love this deck list. I don't plan on changing it. Like, I think Izzet is the best Ruby Storm build. I know that the Gruul build is more popular, but I think blue is just better than green. I don't think Veil of Summer is better than the offerings that blue provides. You could try 3-color. You could try splashing for Veil of Summer or Silence in the sideboard over Pact of Negation. It is reasonable, but I think those cards aren't that much better than Pact of Negation, and you lose consistency with colors with casting Flame of Anor. So your mileage may vary. Try whatever makes you happy. Experimenting is good. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.